I hit a good drive, good approach shot on 11. I 2-putt for par. And then we get to 12. Okay. And Brian, I've been known to drink warm orange soda on our podcast before. That's something that's happened before. Yep. I poured a small glass of whiskey just to recount 12 for you.
Oh no.
I take a cheap bourbon is needed to get through this.
Should I go pour some as well?
I wouldn't not if I were you.
Welcome to the Bag Chatter Podcast. I am your host, Brian, joined as always by my co-host, a man that honestly I miss playing golf with. Adam, how are you today?
Brian, that is so sweet of you. Honestly, it means the world that you would say that. It's been so nice for me to play with other people, but no, I miss playing with you. I feel like we haven't played golf in 3 weeks. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's real, but it feels like it's been forever.
Yeah. I feel like we have had 3 rounds of golf together in the past 2 months. There was the events that we played. There was the one random day we played at Honeybrook. That feels like 6 weeks ago. I kind of hate it. Can I say that? I do not like not playing golf with you.
Not a fan. And it's warm weather now. So this is turning. The weather is turning. Our golf fortunes are turning. You and we've got team events coming up. We got all sorts of stuff happening. We're going to play plenty of golf together this summer, Brent. That's not even a question.
Okay. Well, thank you for assuaging my fears. Is it assuaging or assuaging?
It's assuaging, Brian.
Thank you for correcting me. Thank you for assuaging my fears.
Brian, I've played a lot of golf in the last week and none of it with you. And the whole time I've thought this feels almost meaningless. It feels almost meaningless without Brian there as a foil.
Now you're ruining the moment. I mean it. Going over the top.
I mean it in a good way. I really can't wait to get back to golf.
Yeah. We are going to talk about some of that golf that you played. But before we do that, we are going to talk about something pretty exciting that we have coming up. Instead of going into an ad read for somebody who's not sponsoring this podcast, we need to talk about someone who actually is.
Diamonds. Hillsburg Diamonds for all your diamond needs. The hardest diamonds. And if you don't know, diamonds are already very hard. So,
did he go to Jared? No, he went to Hellsburg.
Hellsburg.
No, we're not talking Hellsburg right now. We're set to do something this summer. We've kind of hinted at it already, but I'm so excited that we got a little bit of organization around it. Got a little bit of merch around it because, Adam, did you know that the Bag Chatter store is now live?
What the actual heck are you talking about, Brian? The store is live?
What in the Hellsburg Diamonds are you talking about?
What in the Hellsburg Diamonds are you talking about? The store is live?
The store is live. Bagchattergolf.com. You can click the store link. Actually, I think... bagchattergolf.myshopify.com. Oh. Bagchattergolf / Hellsburg Diamonds, I believe, might also get you there.
That's where our most valuable items are located.
We'll talk about the store in a second. We are introducing the Rum Swinger series of Bag Chatter events this summer.
Whoa, do whistles record on microphones? I don't know if that's going to do well.
I'm going to have to fix that whistle in post, I believe.
The Rum Swinger series is here, and it's happening soon.
Adam, do you know about Rum Springer? Is that joke going to miss a lot of people?
I hope not. So we're talking about Rum Springer. Obviously, let's explain the joke. It's a Rum Springer reference.
When you explain the joke, that makes it a better joke usually.
That's right. That's when all the Amish they drink and they partake in Amish. I'm sorry, we're not allowed to say that on this podcast.
Listen, I'm gonna beep it out. It's not the first beep that I've had to do in this podcast. You haven't even heard it yet because I just did it the other day. But I will beep that out.
That's a reference to something that was edited out of the first episode on the deli. I mentioned one very innocent joke. It was actually a very innocent joke about Rumspringa, and Brian is such a snowflake. Brian is such a snowflake that he was afraid to put it into the actual show. So that will forever be the reference. Where listen, I'm here for edgy comedy. That's us. That's.
And I'm here for the moms and dads listening in the minivan right now with their kids in the back, their kids who love golf content. And
That's right. That's right. All the 7-year-olds who are so excited about the Rumspringa Lancaster County Golf Association series.
Who's looking out for the kids, Adam? You know who is? Me. I'm looking out for the kids. No, yeah, Rumspringa is when the Amish youth sow their wild oats. You know, a lot of it is sort of myth and legend, though I'm sure, like with teenagers of every denomination, there's some crazy stuff that happens. But this is the when I say every denomination, I mean
every denomination. The Quakers are going nuts.
Listen, there's some Quaker teens who have really gotten into some stuff. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm sure. I have no doubt.
So the Rumspringa series features 4 events starting in May. The 31st 2-man scramble at Overlook Golf Club.
Would you call this a swing? Just to be clear, is this a tour? Is this a swing? What's happening here? What is the Rumspringa series?
I mean, it's a series. I thought that was kind of evident in the title. You want to go with the Rumspringa series swing? Is that what you're proposing?
I do, actually. Now that you say it, yes. The T-shirts are printed. We can't go back.
So we got a 2-man scramble in May. In June, the 72nd Lenco Amateur Championship, a 2-day event at Fox Chase. Yep. You are definitely playing in that. I may be. It all depends. Registration for Lancaster Country Club member guest open this morning. Mm-hmm. Mike signed us up 2 minutes after we are on the wait list, as we thought we might be.
Oof.
Because we missed the event last year, we didn't get priority. The cutoff, I believe, is all the way up to June 22nd for the Lenco Am. So if I find out I'm not playing in member guest, then I will be signing up with you. But that's going to be a great 2-day event at Fox Chase. Then the third event in the Rumspringa series is the 47th Better Ball Championship at Tanglewood. That's also a 2-day event, a 2-day Better Ball that we're going to be in.
I'm so excited.
So excited for that. And then finally, the 52nd Lenco Open Championship at Conestoga Country Club in August. 4 events over 4 months. And we actually have a presenting sponsor for this, Adam.
Are you kidding me? Is it Helzberg Diamonds?
It's so much better than Helzberg Diamonds. I can't even begin to tell you. Adam, who do you count on in Minnesota and Wisconsin for exceptional service from first contact to final cleanup?
Are we talking north or south of Duluth?
Adam, who do you count on for complete tree care from experienced ISA-certified arborists and highly trained staff?
I've heard from a lot of the Wisconsin folks that there's nobody in that area.
Well. If you also are looking for a thorough evaluation of your trees from the roots up and an honest recommendation of what is best for you and your trees, including outstanding cleanup, go with Expert Tree Service and Science.
Yeah, obviously. I've been saying that. I've been saying Expert Tree Service and Science is the only people that I would ever trust for my Minnesota tree service.
To be clear, you asked me about Duluth. We're talking about exceptional service to thousands of customers throughout the Twin Cities, Western Wisconsin, Menominee, Eau Claire, and the Chippewa Valley.
I thought Menominee and Eau Claire were the Twin Cities. What Twin Cities are you referring to?
I think it's Minneapolis and St. Paul, Adam. That's what I've always thought the Twin Cities were.
Okay. Listen, you've admitted in the past that geography was not your specialty.
You know, people are going to want to know, what is a tree service company in Minnesota and Wisconsin doing sponsoring the Rumspringa series? You know, there were about 1,000 Amish people in Minnesota in 1992. Do you know how many there are now? 5,210.
Holy cow, that's exponential. That's exponential is what that is. And you didn't Google that just now. I didn't hear any typing before you asked me that question.
And do you know the top 5 states for Amish folks?
I'm going to say Pennsylvania, Ohio.
Yep. Number 2.
Okay, and then you got probably Michigan.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th.
Dang it. I'm going to say Kentucky. Indiana.
Indiana is 3rd. You're never going to guess who is 4th.
Utah.
No, Adam. It's people who can get helped by our sponsor of the Rumswinga series. Is it
Western Wisconsin?
You better believe it is, baby.
Oh, my gosh.
Wisconsin is home to 24,920 Amish people as of last year.
That's like 23,000 more than I would have expected, if I'm being honest with you.
Tree service is actually very applicable to the Rumswinga series because that final event at Conestoga, they have removed hundreds of trees at Conestoga in the last couple of years. They did like an okay job of it. If Tony and his crew would have been there, it probably would have went much better.
Yeah, I mean, no, obviously that would be number 1, 2 in the state at this point. If Tony Hayden and his company had done this, Conestoga at that point would be right with Marion, Oakmont, Aronimink. It would be in the same category.
Anyway, you're going to be hearing a lot more about the Rumswinga series as that first event approaches. It's only a couple of weeks away. And yeah, if you go to the Bag Chatter store now, you can get limited edition Rumswinga series t-shirts in either a blue or a gray. And plus we've got hats, ball markers, towels, diamonds.
Nobody ever releases an unlimited edition of something, and they should. They really should. We should just let people know. If you want a Rumswinga series t-shirt, you can probably get one. If there's enough demand, it's an unlimited edition, honestly. Like, we'll order more.
Yeah,
If the demand is there, then the supply, unlimited. It's an unlimited edition.
Fair enough. So more to come on the Rumswinga series. Thank you, Tony, and the folks at Expert Tree Service and Science. You can check them out at experttree.com. And let's get into the episode. All right, Adam, what we're here to talk about today is a round of golf that I'm looking at our pyramid of importance at bagchattergolf.com/season2. And I see this in tier 2. This is a pretty big event you just played in, the Gap Mid-Am Qualifier. You chose Outdoor Country Club. I believe you had a practice round a few days before. You just need to take us there.
Well, Brian, Outdoor Country Club is in York, PA, which is a good 2 hours from my front door. So I was required to go to this location because the others were full. They filled up real fast, and I hesitated. And so I was relegated to Outdoor Country Club. I drove out last week for a practice round at Outdoor. Really liked it. Not a very long course. It was like 67 from the tips. Course rating of 72.4, slope of 135, par 72. Very straightforward. There's not a lot of trouble on this course. I shot 79 in the practice round, but felt really good. Hit my driver bad on the practice round, and I just kept saying to myself, if you hit your driver well on this course, you're going to score well. You're just going to. It was when I started hitting my driver well, I was hitting little half wedges into greens, into big old greens. I putted really well. The greens were fast, but they were true. I liked everything about the course.
Except the name.
Yeah, Outdoor Country Club. What are we
doing there?
Name.
What are we doing with Outdoor Country Club? They're all outdoors.
Yeah. Yeah. If it was an indoor country club, note it. Maybe name it.
That's just assumed, I thought.
Maybe name it after that. So I get out there. I have a 9:31 tee time. I want to get there an hour beforehand. So I left at 6:30 yesterday morning. I get there at 8:30.
How's the back been, by the way, with all the golf you've been playing?
really, really good.
Oh, that's great.
So the physical therapy I've been doing and the exercises I've been doing, the back has been good. I've continued to lose weight. I'm 33 pounds down from like 13 weeks ago. So I'm doing well physically. I feel good. Now, I'm not sure about the weight loss in the golf swing. I feel like there's some effect on it. But so I get out there and we have mentioned a couple weeks ago, we went to film at Honeybrook and I had a small range session and I immediately got an aggressive case of the shanks.
Yeah.
I mean, and we're talking about, we've joked about it being 120 of 150 balls. It was probably 100 balls that I hit, but there were legitimately 65 shanks in 100 balls. It was very, very bad.
Yeah.
We got Jason Nickel on the horn. He got some stuff worked out with me. So things have gone okay. There have been sporadic shanks mixed throughout. But so I drive 2 hours out there. My back has felt good. My back was a little stiff after a 2-hour drive. I get onto the beautiful range at Outdoor Country Club. And my first 4 9-irons, which is what I've been starting my range sessions with recently, were just shanked directly into the net to the right of me. So immediate shanks, just like, whoa, like what's going on? So I worked this out a little bit. And I'm even experimenting and shanks are still happening. And so I start, because we're in emergency mode, I got to play around in 20 minutes. I start lining my ball up. I start splitting the edge of my ball with the toe of my club and trying to hit the ball with the toe, like trying to tip the ball off the edge and shoot it right with the toe of the club. Yeah. And I'm flushing the ball. I'm flushing it. I have no idea what's going on. But this isn't happening with my wedges, and I'm reminding myself, hey, if you drive the ball well here, you're going to play well. You're going to hit a lot of wedges. So I get to the first tee. I get up there. So first of all, I get to the first tee. I go up 10 minutes before my tee time. I'm probably technically supposed to be on the first tee at this point. I look all around my golf cart, nowhere. Just absolutely nowhere. So they've got all of them lined up. There's nobody there. We're now 4 minutes before my tee time. I'm supposed to be there 10 minutes before my tee time. I go into the clubhouse, ask for it. Someone goes like, oh, yeah, I'll go take a look at that for you. I'm like, he's like, who are you with again? I'm like, those guys on the tee right now.
Was your golf bag on the golf cart?
No, I had my bag. So I'm like, you know what? I'm walking down. He's like, okay, I'll meet you down there. So I walk down. One guy is already hit. I'm getting to the tee box late. She's reading me rules secondarily, like,
oh my god,
because I'm late. Not a great way to start the round, but I hit a good tee shot, a little high and right, but in a good position. I knock it onto the front of the green. I 2-foot putt for par, and I'm like, okay, we're settling in here.
You have your card at that point?
What's that? Yes, I got my cart. They got me a cart at the first tee. I pulled away with a cart. I literally hit my drive, then loaded my cart, with my bag and all that. So the second hole is a long par 3, like 195 yards. So I've just shanked all these balls on the range, and I'm just scared to death. I am just standing over a 5-iron, uphill 195, scared to death. OB lining the right.
Okay.
And I line it up out on the toe, and I flush a 5-iron into the middle of the green.
Okay.
So greens I putted pretty well all day. Big swinger left to right. I kind of talked myself into it being a double breaker, and so I took a little bit off of it, and it trickled out way past way right to like 12 feet. I missed that comebacker. So 3-putt bogey on 2.
Okay.
So I'm 1 over through 2. Hole 3 is a 540-yard par 5, right in front of you, no trouble.
Okay.
I made double in the practice round on this hole, so it's kind of in my head a little bit. And I just aggressively pull my driver. It's kind of back into the course, so there's no real trouble. But I'm like, so kind of short and left. And it's like, bad swing, but I should get away with it. I get over there, and I'm kind of under a tree, but I don't think there's any tree trouble at all. I get over the ball and I take my backswing and I clip a tree hard
on the practice swing or on the actual swing?
On the actual swing and fully stop. I kind of fell forward. Asked the guys, like, hey, I was fully trying to stop that swing. Like, I didn't take a swing at that, right? And they agreed. No, you didn't. You were clearly trying to stop your swing. There was no intent to hit the golf ball. But so I really didn't think these branches were in my way. But so like I felt it on the backswing and tried to stop my swing, kind of came through like awkward falling forward. So I'm like, okay, geez. So then I'm trying to just punch my ball forward at all. I'm just trying to get it back in the fairway. So I take the same hybrid, I choke up on it, still clip the tree a tiny bit, punch down on it, and the ball goes like 12 feet.
Oh, no.
So then I hit the same, I walk up, I hit the same hybrid up left of the green. I hit it all the way to the back of the green because of front tucked pin behind a bunker, 3-putt from like 50, 60 feet, and I make double on 3. So suddenly I'm like 3 over through 3. I don't feel like terrible at this point. I'm just like, okay, it's fine. So I'm thinking 77, 78 is probably getting into this event. That's kind of like I'm thinking 76 definitely is getting into this event. 77, 78 is enough to drive home. I'm an early tee time and at least watch the leaderboard and, see where we stand.
So this isn't one of those where like only the top 2 or 3 people.
No, 8. So there were 76 people and 18 in ties got through.
Okay.
18 and then plus 6 alternates.
Okay.
So hit a great drive on 4, hit one into the middle of the green, like 18 feet, just barely missed my birdie putt, tap in for par.
Okay.
I pull my drive left again, another aggressive left miss on 5, and I think it's in this long grass. There's a ranger over there. He points it out to me. It's in this terrible lie. I hack it out up left, and then it actually goes way long left of the green. I hit a pretty good flop shot back, but it runs through. I 2-putt. I make bogey. So I'm 4 over through 5.
Okay.
I get over a 150-yard shot on 6. It's a par 3. It's a 9-iron. I'm scared of these shanks. Yeah. I'm terrified. I'm so scared of them. And I, avoiding the shank, just pull hook one so hard. I mean, like 25 yards left of the green under a tree. I'm kind of in the roots. There's like wispy branches hanging down. It's kind of a weeping willow type thing.
Oh, no.
And I hit an amazing 56-degree wedge up to like 20 feet. 20 feet. And then I make the 20-footer for par.
What? Let's go.
A guy who shot even par and finished 3rd in this thing said world class up and down. World class. I was like, all right.
Love to hear that.
And you know what I said to myself? Brian would write that down on his ceiling and he would go to sleep to it every night because he doesn't get compliments. You guys parted the lights out today.
Still think about that.
Still think about it. So I'm 4 over through 6, reachable par 5. I said to myself, all right, if you birdie this par 5, it's a reachable par 5, you are right back in this thing. Like you're suddenly 3 over through 6 or through 7, and we're right where we need to be. I pull my driver again so hard. And there's a little pond over to the left. Didn't even know about this pond. So we're looking all around this pond. Can't find it anywhere.
Oh, no.
We're thinking, okay, it's in the pond. One of the guys finds my ball suddenly near the pond. We're like, okay, miracle. Just absolute miracle. I hit a little punch hook hybrid out of there, get it up to like 115 yards. I take a gap wedge, and I hit a ball that I think is absolutely perfect. It's a back pin. And it's like, I think it's only like 95 to the front. So I'm like, I hit this, it's a little into the wind. I hit a perfect gap wedge. It's up in the air. And I'm like, okay, that'll be front of the green. We get up there. It's not on the green. It's in the front bunker, like 15, 20 yards short.
What?
and I have no idea what happened. I just have no clue whatsoever. I'm just like, I can't believe the ball only flew like 75 yards. I'm like, I don't understand at all. I knock it on, have a reasonable chance for par, miss it, so I make bogey. On 8, I pull another driver. I am under a tree. I punch it forward. It doesn't quite get onto the green. I hit a little 7-iron bump and run. I leave myself like a 30-foot downhiller for par. I make the 30-foot downhiller for par.
Let's go. Okay.
So I'm at this point, I'm 5 over through 8. I'm not playing well. And I'm like, with that putt, I'm like, you know what? You can do this. So I was 7 over through 7 in the practice round and finished 7 over.
Okay.
And so I'm like, you know what? You're 5 over through 8 this time. You can absolutely shoot even par again, shoot 1 under, and shoot 76, 77, and qualify for the gap mid-am. That is something you can do. I get up on 9 and I just pure drive. It was about 315, just absolutely crushed it on a rope. I leave myself 80 yards, perfect lob wedge into a huge green. And so I just from the fairway, I stand over it and I'm like, let's just stuff this in there. Let's get in. Let's get the easy par at worst.
Yeah.
I hit this ball more than 45 degrees right. I caught the hosel of my lob wedge, shanked it back onto the first tee from the middle of the fairway. Just a dead shank. So the shank. So
first of the day. First shank of the day.
Have not hit shanks with the wedges at all. So I go over, take the same lob wedge, chip it just over the green, coming back across, get up and down for bogey.
Okay.
So I shoot 42 on the front.
Okay. Not on schedule for what you need, but it's in play still.
Yes, not on schedule. I pull my driver on 10 into the fairway bunker. I kind of chunk slightly, just, my iron shot out of the bunker down in front of the green, knock it up to 30 feet, 2 putt for bogey on 10. So I'm now 7 over.
Okay.
I hit a good drive, good approach shot on 11. I 2 putt for par. And then we get to 12. Okay. And Brian, I've been known to drink warm orange soda on our podcast before. That's something that's happened before. Yep. I poured a small glass of whiskey just to recount 12 for you.
Oh no.
I take a cheap bourbon is needed to get through this.
Should I go pour some as well?
I wouldn't not if I were you. So I take an 8-iron. It's 175 yards downwind.
Okay.
I take out an 8-iron and I immediately shank it 45 degrees to the right.
No.
So across the bridge, so it avoids the water that's in front of me. We get over there. It's in a gigantic tractor track. And so it's just in in this little orchard. I don't know why there's an orchard there. Why do they have an orchard to the right of this green? It's very weird.
That's what happens at outdoor.
So we didn't know what to do. There was nothing about it. It seemed like ground under repair. There were some stakes. So we agreed as a group that what we were going to do was we were going to have me hit one from the track.
Yeah.
Then drop one outside as what it would be if there was ground under repair, and then play both. Then a guy comes up, he sees that we're talking about stuff. So I hit the one from the track, shank the one from the track.
Now, is this track in mud or in grass?
It's grass, but then it's dirt because there's a track there.
Oh no.
So shank the one from the track further right, but but then we go. And so I get miracle second life. The rules official immediately agrees that's ground under repair, doesn't care that I've taken another shot. So I get to drop one 40 yards from the hole. It's actually a little further than that. It's 70 yards from the hole.
Okay.
And so the pin is tucked, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I get my second shot from here.
Yeah.
And I can like just knock it onto the green. I kind of slide right under it and knock it right into the bunker that the pin is tucked behind.
Oh, no.
So then I hit a pretty good bunker shot out of there, but it runs past. I miss the putt, so we double 12. So we get to a par 5, very reachable. In the practice round, I had a 9-iron into this par 5.
Okay.
So it's a little narrow, but it's reachable. And I suddenly hit a high right miss that I don't think is trouble. But one of the other guys says, I would just reload. So I hit another one. I hit that one left. We get up there. Sure enough, my first one's OB.
Oh, my
gosh.
gosh.
So I was teeing 3, basically. So I'm going, and I'm behind a tree with my second one. Knock my fourth shot forward, hit an 8-iron from there, left and long, get up and down for 7.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my word.
Suddenly, so I'm 6 over after 9. That means I'm now, after 13, I'm now 11 over suddenly. And so I'm knowing at this point it is over.
And because
and I am so scared of the shanks, Brian, I can't even tell you. So short par 4 on 14. I'm so scared of the shanks, and I don't know how to say this because it doesn't seem related. I top a 2-iron off the tee on 14.
Oh.
Avoiding the shank, just avoiding the shank. But it's only a 370-yard hole, so I top it, but I top it like 80, 90 yards.
Yeah.
And then take my 2-iron again and knock it up greenside left. It is absolutely in the longest grass I've ever played a ball out of. Chop it up into regular grass, get up and down from there for 5.
Oh.
I hit a great drive on 15, hit it long, couldn't get up and down, another bogey. I birdied the par 5 16th.
Okay. All right. First bird of the day.
I 3-putted for bogey on 17. I made par on 18. I shot 42, 43, 85. I finished T71 out of 76 with my 85. I'm going to take one more sip of this cheap bourbon.
Yep. Maybe 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A lot to unpack there.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't even know where to start. I'm worried about the shanks.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really? Yeah, you're worried about the shanks.
What do we do? What are we doing?
We've got a couple things to discuss, Brian. Okay. So I kind of flew through that because we've got a couple very specific things to discuss here. Okay.
Just like you in your Gap week 2 match, I am in a fog right now. So you're going to have to lead me through this.
So in that fog, I found a place of serenity, a Zen place where I found some focus and some execution. Yeah. I am now, this is day after. I'm not doing well. I'm not doing great, Brian.
Okay.
I feel lost. I feel confused. I feel so I have a few things in my mind that I feel like are affecting this, right? I've lost all this weight, and I do feel like that is affecting. I feel like my swing mechanics are changed. Mm-hmm. Okay. I feel like that is a part of it. Mm-hmm. I don't, it's not an excuse. I think that's some things happen. This is embarrassing to say out loud, but it's true. I have for the several recent years, I have used my gut as a little bit of a swing guide.
Can I stop you right there and get your permission to use that as the name of this episode?
I'd prefer you didn't.
Okay, I won't.
I'd prefer you didn't is a good episode title as well. No, you can use whatever you want. Whatever you want is fine. So I've used, literally, I set my arms against my gut because it was just sort of an easy, and then you turn them all as a unit. It's literally, that swing ball thing?
Yeah.
That was my stomach.
One piece takeaway. They're all connected.
Exactly. And so now I'm 33 pounds down and my gut's gone. I've lost 7.5 inches on my waist.
Wow.
And I'm not joking. My arms feel like they're in water. They're just in free space and I don't know what to do with them. That is partly what I think is happening. I think I'm trying to learn this. The other thing, so again, I have never felt stupider than I did shanking. I did not, because I say that so I hit 2 shanks in this round, but because of fear of the shanks, I pull hooked a bunch. I didn't hit a good iron the entire round. The 17th hole, I hit 1 good 7-iron into the middle of the green. I don't think I hit another iron into a green successfully all day.
Okay.
And so I'm out there hitting my 2014 Titleist CBs. These are players' irons.
Yeah.
I cannot hit the face of them. And I'm out there with borderline blades, and I feel stupid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, it's probably time to get a bigger face, maybe, because you can't hit the face of this one. So let's get something with a bigger face, because you're hitting the wedges usually fine. I know I hit the 1 shank. I've only hit 1 shank in 2 years with a wedge. But you know why? Because the faces are bigger. You can miss on the heel, and it's not on the hosel.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at, where I'm like, yeah, I need to get bigger irons. I need to get regular irons. You know, I'm not hitting my irons well enough. Have I in my life hit those irons well enough to justify them? Yes, absolutely. Am I hitting them that well right now? Definitely not. Because I just shot 85. I drove the ball okay. Not great. There were some struggle periods, but I kind of got away with it most of the time. Hit some great drives. I putted the lights out. I got up and down. My strokes gained around the greens on tough greens were really good. I didn't hit a single. I shot 85, barely hitting the face of an iron, barely hitting an iron forward all day. And so I'm like, yeah, you need to figure that out. And that might be an iron change. I don't know. And here's the big. So answer that in 1 second, and then answer this. I am signed up for a U.S. Open qualifier in 6 days, Brian.
Oh, no. I didn't realize it was that close.
It is this coming Monday. This round ballooned my handicap to a 1.0.
Okay.
So I am now officially. So I had a couple early year rounds that got me down to a 0.2, that got me under the necessary 0.4. I'm now above the handicap required to play in a U.S. Open qualifier. I was already on the edge of it, just like I was last year, but now it's an even lower edge. So I'm already on the borderline of people who should play in this. I am in bad form. Yeah. I am of low confidence at the moment. I am shanking the ball. I am going to play a course with a 76 course rating and a, 144 slope.
Yeah.
I went this week, and with 2 shanks, shot 79 at that course, a 2.5 differential.
Okay. At the course that this event is at
the US Open qualifier.
Okay.
So I did shoot a 79, kind of playing out of my mind, putting out of my mind, drove the ball amazingly.
This was before the Mid-Am qualifier?
Yeah, before the Mid-Am qualifier.
Okay.
I shot 79, hit 2 shanks. I drove the ball amazingly. I putted amazingly. I got up and down from everywhere to shoot 79. And really, Brian, I need some input here, because I have about 2.5 days to pull out with some refund of the U.S. Open qualifier if I want to.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, would that qualify as an appropriate self-aware mental health withdrawal, or would that be a cowardly withdrawal? So, there's going to be people listening to this, and they're all going to have their opinions. Mm-hmm. What do you think? Is this something I should do? Should I be I'm just being self-aware. My game is not in the place to play in a U.S. Open qualifier, even like it was last year. And even last year we said, hey, you're not qualifying for the U.S. Open, so why am I in this qualifier? I have a ton of events coming up that I do believe I belong in, that I do believe I can qualify for, but the chances of me shooting 95 are so much higher than me qualifying, or even shooting 75 and not qualifying.
I'm sorry if I look a little distracted. I'm currently writing out an email to one of the videographers I know, wondering if we could get a camera crew over to the U.S. Open qualifier on Monday, because my buddy Adam really could make a mess thing? I know I'm going to finish writing this later. It's a great question. Everybody is going to have their opinion, and they're entitled to that. I don't care so much about what they think. I think you need to search your heart, to search your soul. Here's my thoughts, though. Here's my 2 cents. I think you pull out. I don't think it's a cowardly move. Number one, you did this last year. It's not like this is uncharted territory you've never been in that you're now finding an excuse to not do. You did it last year, and you did pretty well. I think the fact that you're not in good form, yeah, I don't know. To me, I don't think you do it. I think you could go and shoot 93 or 89 or whatever, or shoot 85 and put the lights out. And I think you're going to survive. I don't think this is like a fight or flight thing where you're like, this could break me. I'm running away from this. I'm trying to find the upside to when, to me, you're battling the shanks clearly right now. And whether it's a function of some bad swing habits that have come in, whether it's a function of all the weight you've lost, it doesn't really matter. You're just not in good form. This is not your career. I don't know. What's keeping you from clicking the withdraw button right now? Is it just what people are going to think?
I don't want to overreact. Obviously, yesterday felt awful. I believe the previous episode to this will be a golf high but you know what? Even in that golf high, I didn't shoot some lights out score. So for all that we talk about you wanting to be a 5 and me wanting to be a 1 or a 10, at the same time, I strive to not get too high or low based on what's happening. Mm-hmm. Okay. In the sense of, I shot a month and a half ago a 67 on a real golf course.
Yeah.
And I went, and even last week I shot 79 at this US Open qualifier course and felt like, ooh, I left some shots out there. And so it is purely a fear of the shanks. If I knew I was going to knock the ball forward all day, mm-hmm, I would go play it. And I right now do not feel confident that I'm going to knock the ball forward all day. I am 2 solid weeks into aggressive shanks and not knowing what to do about it, and it not solving itself, and the misses. And there have been times when it was like, well, hey, it's either perfect or a shank. And then yesterday, it was not like that. It was like I was so aware of the shanks that I was broken. My irons might as well have not been in my bag. I probably would have shot better than 85 if I had just taken a hybrid the whole day, because it doesn't have a hosel on it, and just sort of bunted it like it was a 1 club challenge. I probably would have done better, because at least I would have hit the ball forward the whole day. Mm-hmm. And so right now I'm with my irons right now. Yesterday, I was incapable of hitting a good shot with them, and I was so in my head about it. And the whole time, I'm not going to lie to you, again, I don't want to be dictated by fear, but I was like, yeah, it's actually 5 days till my US Open qualifier. It was 6 days from yesterday. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, so the whole day I'm thinking 6 days from now, I'm in the US Open qualifier, and I just shanked a ball from 80 yards.
Not really what you want to be thinking when you're in the middle of a round that matters to.
No. And again, I have so last year, part of the reason I entered the US Open qualifier is because I had so few tournaments that I could enter. Now I have so many events on my calendar. I have so many things I'm looking forward to. I have the Gap AM qualifier in a couple of weeks. I have a 2-man tournament with us. We've got tournaments scheduled throughout this summer, and all of them I feel like, yeah, I belong in those. No matter what happens, I belong in those. Mm-hmm. And in this US Open qualifier, even playing my best, I don't know that I belong in it. And I want to do it. It's a fun thing to do. I played it without getting a letter last year. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, am I really going to play it again to not get a letter?
Right. To me, it goes back to your why, which we talked about at the beginning of the season. Like, why are you doing this? Why do you put all the work? And, and I poke fun a little bit at it, but your why is because it's tied to your identity a little bit, and you want to do something grand in the game of golf. And I don't think you're in position to do that for yourself. Like the shape of your game right now, I feel like there's plenty of other tournaments coming up, like you're saying.
But what if we went to Golden Oaks tomorrow and I shot 67 tomorrow? Because I could. Because I came off a winter with nothing going on, and I shot 67. I shot 5 under par.
Let me ask you this. If the U.S. Open qualifier, this is a hypothetical that would never happen, but if the U.S. Open qualifier was showing up there at that course and playing by yourself and not embarrassing yourself with shanks in front of people and also not holding other people up with shanks in front of people, would that change it at all for you?
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think you're right, is what I'm saying. I think that's where I'm leaning, is just saying, hey, give yourself a couple weeks until then the events we're playing are going to come hot and heavy. We're going to have a lot of events that we need to play and we need to do well in. And I feel like I need a little bit of a mental reset right now, where I'm like, you know what? Right now I'm thinking about this event in 5 days. And I'm like, well, if I take that off my calendar, we've got 2 weeks till a 2-man scramble, and then a Gap AM qualifier, and then the Lanco Open as part of the Rumswinga series. Mm-hmm. 2 of those are Rumswinga series, actually. Let's be very clear.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, I feel like I'm going to be in a better place to play those well and give myself a little reset and get to the range and hit balls and find something for those. And I feel right now, I feel scared of this U.S. Open.
Yeah.
Is that I don't care how I sound. That's how I feel. I just finished 71st of 76 in a Philadelphia Mid-Am qualifier. I shouldn't be in a U.S. Open qualifier in 5 days. I don't know how that sounds, but it's what it is.
So I'm being supportive of you backing out, which, I know you weren't asking my permission, but you value my opinion. That's my opinion. Just for the sake of sort of argument and conversation, I will throw out maybe the other side of it, more of a worst case scenario. But like, I think the potential downside to this, and again, this is a sort of hypothetical, but that like the next time you have a US Open qualifier coming, or whatever you deem is like, this is the biggest, this is the most important, this is the one where I'm not really sure I belong, are the shanks going to start suddenly manifesting because you're just afraid of them? And even if they don't show up, you go an entire day not hitting a good iron shot because you live in fear of the shanks. To me, I don't think that would happen, but maybe it would.
I don't think that's what's going on. I don't think it's because that's coming up. I think it feels like a coincidence that this qualifier is coming up. I've lost the weight. I've had the back issues, which seem to be resolving, but now I feel like, okay, I'm not trying to use an excuse for any of this. Those shanks appeared out of nowhere, and I clearly, quite frankly, lack the face control that I think I have at times. I think I have a repetitive swing that works a lot of the time for the last several years. And I think that overall, I'm now trying to just get off the heel of the club so aggressively and can't do it. So I'm like, yeah, okay, I need to find something new in my swing a little bit. And quite frankly, I don't think that's happening in the next 5 days. And I'm going to figure it out. I'm not playing awful golf. I just shot, 74 and beat a really good golfer in a gap match. And I'm excited for the gap match this week. I don't know. That is a weird dichotomy where it's like, I'm excited for my gap match this week at Honeybrook, and I'm scared to death of the U.S. Open qualifier on Monday. What do you do with that? That's
a really fascinating dichotomy for sure. I don't know. Why aren't you scared of the shanks in your gap match?
I am. But it's match play. So you shank a couple. You just concede the hole and you're done. And it's like it's just less important. It just is. I know you've resisted that this entire time with this entire conversation. It is less important. It's doing that in a gap match, not a big deal. Doing that in the US Open qualifier, much bigger deal.
Yeah.
Here's what it really is for me, is that I signed up for that tournament knowing that I wasn't going to qualify. And so right now, I feel like I'm in a tournament that I feel like I have a basically 0% chance of qualifying for, and so I haven't shot 110 years or more, but the chances of me shooting 100 are better than qualifying, certainly. I'd say the chances of me shooting 90 are higher than the chances of me shooting 75. Which is not a qualifying score. There's 7 spots available in this. So I'm like, so in one sense, what is the purpose of doing this? And I could make the argument that I signed up for this tournament for a reason, but right now I just don't like. So listen, if I shot 75 and missed qualifying for the second round of US Open qualifying by 3 shots, that would be a huge moral victory for me.
Right.
Understood. But at the same time, it doesn't feel like that's going to happen right now. And there's a big downside. And so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm curious what the listeners think of it. I've chimed in with my 2 cents. I think you need to figure some stuff out with your golf swing. I think you need to figure some stuff out with your golf clubs.
So last year I was working at AutoZone, right? Mm-hmm. I was hitting 1,000 or more golf balls a week, and I felt the return from that. Right now, I am basically playing. Maybe I'll go hit a bucket of balls once a week, 100 balls, no feedback, just hitting them out into a field. I'm literally debating in my brain, should I try to invest some money in upgrading irons? Mm-hmm. Should I invest money in the Rapsodo launch monitor, their newer one, the MLM2 Pro? I could take that and I could hit as many balls as I want off a mat into a net and get feedback just like I did last year. And I'm like, I was hitting these irons last year and I was hitting them great. Mm-hmm. And because I was hitting them a ton. And this year I'm just like, yeah, I know I can get back to that place. I'm not trying to be fatalistic. I'm just trying to say hey, I don't feel close to that right now. So if someone was offering them to me right now, would you say, Adam, take new irons that are, perfect for your swing, or would you say, no, get a launch monitor and hit 1,000 balls a week?
100% would tell you to get new irons. At my Titleist fitting, Chris Bango, the fitting rep, basically told you nobody on tour would hit these things.
That's not at all what he said, just to be clear.
Nobody on tour is hitting hitting these things.
No, tons of them are hitting them and are addicted to them. The 4-iron. So he did say, he convinced me quickly. He said people who love CBs. So I have Titleist CBs. Mm-hmm. He said people who love CBs, right? So we're never going to tell you not to hit your CBs. However, if you were on tour today and you brought that CB 4-iron on tour, right, you'd be the only person hitting a CB 4-iron on tour. Max Homo is the last CB holdout on tour, and they convinced him to literally go to a T200.
All right, so just a quick little 5-minute interjection here, and then we're going to finish this episode. Adam had that a little bit wrong there. They did not move Max Homo from a CB into a T200 4-iron. It was from an MB into a T100S 4-iron. And I actually went back and listened to some of the recording at the end of my fitting to make sure I had that right. And in listening to that, I was like, oh, this is kind of an interesting little 3.5-minute clip where we're talking about this. So I'm going to include that right now, and then we'll try to bring this all together.
You were talking about the CBs earlier, right? And you were saying nobody got... So I have 4-through pitching wedge CBs, and you're just there's no chance it's better.
Well, I'll ask you one question. Does your 4-iron go as high as your 7?
Yeah.
Does it?
I think so.
He does hit the ball very high. Yeah. I don't know.
That's fair. So
I launch it very high.
That's the first question I look at, right? So, it's how high does your 4-iron go high? And then you have to look at ball speed gapping.
Right.
Every club should be 5 miles an hour ball speed apart.
Right.
And it's not when you hit one great. It's when you
right, sure.
You're averaging, right? I'm not saying it's wrong.
But it's very unlikely that that's actually out.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you this pretty quickly, that the CB and the MB have a higher CG. Right, so the players who play MB and CB have to usually be guys who get the ball on the turf pretty pretty significantly, and they have what I call a high contact point. Yep. They got to hit it pretty high in the face, right? And then the new term of golf, which when I was growing up, I play CBMB. I play that, right? I only play it to the 5.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, I never heard the word shallow out before.
Yeah.
Nobody ever told me to shallow out.
Yeah.
And every coach now is
it's all,
shallow. I'm steeper than all heck, right? So I hit all my irons really high on the face. Yeah. So I need my CG to be high on the face. Yeah. Tour players now are so shallow that where's their strike when you're shallow?
Down low.
Low on the face. Where's CG on T100? Low on the face. I think that's kind of the easy button.
Interesting.
When we see a guy come in here with MB and CB, it's pretty rare that we fit them in that, but I know that they have to be able to hit it high on the face. Yeah. And the ones who need it, you'll look at the strike, and it's all high on the face. Right? Huh. Yeah. So it makes a lot of sense.
Well, somehow Adam has got to a 1 playing those irons.
I believe it. He's a good player. Right? And then I would say, like, Max Homa was the last holdout in a 4-iron MB. He was the last one.
Really?
To do it, to make the change. And it was here he did it. Our old range used to be flat, tier, flat, tier, flat, tier. And we were talking to him about his 4-iron. He was in an MB. I'm like, what do you do when you have to hit this 4-iron into a green? He goes, I just do this. So he's like, you change your swing and hit the ball in the green. He's like, yeah. He's like, how's that work? He's like, it works sometimes. Right? That makes no sense, right? So then they put him in T100S at the time, 4-iron, weakened 2 degrees. Has the same loft as his MB. Makes the same swing, hits his window, lands soft, and he was like, you help a good player with 1 club. Yeah. See you later.
Yeah.
Our old range, remember it had those little tiers in it? He actually started putting golf balls on the downslope of the tee. He started hitting this new 4-iron off the downslope.
Oh.
Done. He was, I've never been able to hit a 4-iron that high off the downslope.
Interesting.
Right? So when we talk about CG and where it's high, in your long irons, you're naturally more shallow. You are.
Yes.
Because the club's longer, you're more shallow. So it's hard to maintain upward strike on the long irons. So it makes sense that his long iron change. He actually called us 2 weeks later. This is before Torrey on Monday. 2 weeks later, he's at Riviera. Calls us, and we're thinking maybe he's calling us to tell us he doesn't like it because he actually missed the cut. This was a couple years ago.
Okay.
And then he calls us, hey, I love the 4-iron. Now I feel like I'm working too hard on my 5-iron. So his 5-iron ended up being T100. Huh. So he goes T100S, T100, 6 through 9 MB. Okay. That's what every tour player bag looks like.
Wow.
That's what zero consumers bags look like. Yeah. Unless they come here.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, I'm not saying it's wrong because I got to see it.
Yeah, right? Yeah. We need to get Adam out here at some point.
It would be a rarity.
It's a rarity, right? In the 4. Maybe we change the 4.
Right. T100. I just picked up a T200 2-iron.
Yeah.
And I love that. Yeah. And I'm like, it makes sense. It stands to reason.
So no, tons of people hit CBs and hit them well, and I have hit them well at times, but I'm now not feeling that, obviously.
When you say tons of people, I mean tons of tour pros.
Right.
Again, you're not in any stretch trying to compare yourself to a tour pro.
No, I'm not trying to say that. I have hit these irons very, very well at points in my life. And I know that there's something about they have a higher center of gravity. So like I think I'm a little bit of a digger, even when I'm playing well. And so the center of gravity is a little higher. And so like I don't come in real shallow. I come in steep is what that's probably why I'm shanking the ball too. But when it's going well, I'm digging a little bit and hitting them higher on the face, and CBs are built for that. And it's like, so I understand. I'm not saying because of one bad round I shouldn't have been hitting these irons so like listen, you could tell me this 4 and 5 iron you shouldn't be hitting these. I believe you 100%. When it comes to 7, 8, 9 pitching wedge, I'm like these have been great clubs for me for the last several years. But at the same time, I'm like, no, I'm clearly struggling with face control a little bit right now. And I probably need a slightly bigger face.
I agree. It's like you're saying like, this 2002 Pathfinder has been like amazing for me. It's like, I'm sure it has, but like, have you seen the 2024 Lexus? Like, listen, my wife doesn't have an ostentatious car like your wife does. that beams the logo onto the street beside her, which is just
beam being the operative word there. It's just incredible wow, highfalutin.
Listen, let's move past the vehicle shaming and let's get back to the fact that I think you need help. You are a self-made golfer who has, taken like a half a lesson one time with my swing coach just because you happen to be there. Like, you've not taken lessons. I had to really convince you to do a fitting, and then, you did it and you liked it. I think you need help. I don't think it's not that you need help. I think you could benefit from help.
No,
so,
I'd be a better golfer with help. I've never doubted that. I've never doubted. So no, I think I need help. I'm hesitant about changes, whether clubs or swing right now as we head into the heaviest part of our golf season and our competitive schedule. But I'm lost right now. I am a little bit lost right now, and it's not good.
So, as you heard there, Adam's not in a great headspace. He's likely going to withdraw from the US Open qualifier and take a few weeks to figure out the shanks and whatever else is going on before we head into the Rum Swinger Series presented by Expert Tree Science and Service later in May. But before we get to those events, there's something else we're playing in that we haven't really talked about this year. Those of you who listened to the podcast last year might remember this little nugget from the end of the season. I am in the process of procuring a small little trophy from 1924, a 100-year-old trophy.
What?
That may or may not be on the line next year as you and I kind of battle out for that. The trophy has been purchased, and as for the format of the competition between Adam and I, well, let's just say we're borrowing from another sport for the format. This year, Adam and I will be competing in the Bag Chatter World Series, a best-of-7 straight-up competition to win the coveted Duxbury Yacht Club men's 4-ball shot glass tin from July 1924. Game 1 happened this week, and it was an instant classic.
Oh, it's on a great line.
Looks decent. It runs back. Oh boy. He is about 6 feet below the hole for his birdie look.
I think maybe I did what I was trying to do. Let's go.
You'll get more than just the box score. You'll get all the audio as the game came down to the final few outs. It's all going to be in episode 8. We'll see you next week. Thanks so much for checking out the Bag Chatter podcast. Hope you enjoyed the episode, and you already know how to subscribe to podcasts, so I'm not going to waste your time. You can find us on all the socials at Bag Chatter Golf or Brian Elaine Golf, and you can check out everything we have going on at bagchattergolf.com. If you want more content from me and Adam, check out the Bag Chatter Deli. That is our Patreon, where we only serve the choicest portions of 4-ball ham and the leanest cuts of bone meat. For $5 a month, you get to support the pod, and you get a weekly episode of our Friday supporter-only podcast, Cold Cuts, Hot Takes. You can find that at patreon.com/bagchattergolf. You guys are the best. Thanks so much for listening.